Hi, Ron from Clarity. In this DNN training video, we're going to talk about content creation and the hierarchy of how content is created. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the different levels of content. First off, at the top level is the page. The page is what delivers the content, right? It's what's linked in the navigation. It's how people go out and Google and do a search. They usually land on a page. So the page is the top level of the hierarchy for content. The next, we have the page template. The page template is what actually controls the container layout. So it's kind of like Tetris. How do the shapes fit on the page? That's the template that dictates that. The third thing, we're going to talk about the individual templates. The templates confine the content, right? Just like Tetris, they define the shape. They define the placement. Are they left? Are they right? Are they newspaper? Are there 3 columns, 1 column? Is it full width? Is it grid width? That's controlled by the container. The final thing is the module. The module actually controls the content, the styling, and what the content is. You could have a module that is a calendar. And so I add a module and it looks like a calendar. One might be an HTML module, might be an FAQ module, one might be a banner module, an image module. So the module is what creates the functionality and styling of the content within that container. So now that we understand what they are, let's go ahead and create a new page. So I've created a page. It's called Ron's Sandbox. So let's go find that page. So I'm going to navigate here to Pages. Scroll down to the bottom. Here's Ron's Sandbox. You can see it's light gray instead of dark, which means it's not visible and it's not in the navigation. So in order to navigate to the page, I either have to know the URL or click View. So now I'm on Ron's page and you can see it's got a really boring layout. This happens to be the default page template. So you can see here's container 1 called Fluid Pane. Here's a grid width container that's called Content Pane, and then a Fluid Pane bottom. I want more options than this in my template. So in order to control that page template and layout, we're going to navigate to the page settings, click on Advanced, Appearance. These are the different themes that are installed. And within each theme, these are all the different page layouts that we have available to us. Right now it's set on the home page, which usually just is a banner, some content, and that's about it. That's why that's the home page banner. I'm going to pick General. I'm going to click Save, exit out, hit Refresh, and now as you can see, I've got my banner at the top, content, but now I've got a whole bunch of different containers for 1/4, 3/4, 50/50, 3 columns. I have some different options now. So I have a much more flexible container or page template for my content. So now that we understand the content, we understand the containers, now we have to put something in those containers. So how do I get content into a container? I have to decide what type of content that is so I can add that module. So now we can add a new module, right? I could go add a module, pick an account module, an HTML module, journal, whatever I'm adding in there, right? So if I added an HTML module to a template, I could grab, and you can see it highlights each template. So if I want that content down here and I let go, it's now down here, and I can start going in, editing content, and that content would show up on the page down here in this right third, right? Now in my case, remember in the past recovery video, I showed you how to create samples so that we could name and reuse existing modules off of other pages. So I want to set this page up quickly from things that I already set up in my sandbox. So instead, I'm going to add an existing module from my sample asset page. So these are the different sample modules that I've created and named accordingly. So at the top, obviously, I want a banner. And I chose make a copy, so I'm going to throw the banner up there. Now I've got my banner. Now this is an FAQ page, so I go into my content, I click edit. I always like to go full, and I usually live in the HTML. So I would go in and replace this text with my ARIA label, my URL, alt, bandage, all the stuff I want to do. In this case, this is just, I think it's just called FAQ, FAQ-banner. Click Save, and now if I put my alt tags and ARIA labels and everything, I've now got my appropriate banner. Now I need to add some content. So we'll go back and we want the page title and intro. So we'll go back to my assets page and we look for the content title. We grab that content title, throw it here, go in, and I can either edit all of the content here, which if I needed to edit or change any of these, I would. If I'm just changing text on the page, I can click this one over here, and now I could just come over here and say FAQs, and then below are just a few of the resources that we provided for, you know, whatever. For you, if you don't see it right, and then I can just hit save over here. So now I've got my entry for the FAQs. Now I want to add my FAQs module, and I can determine how I want that to look. So I'm going to go back, add my existing module. This is going to be my FAQ. Now, do I want to keep that live and uncheck this so I can edit that on any of the pages if I'm going to share this, or I'm going to make a copy of the FAQs and now I can modify them on this page independently? I do want a copy, so we'll take the FAQs. I also want it to be the same width, so I'll add it in there, and now I've added that. So now all I'm going to do, I want this page now, I'm done, so I want this page now visible. So by default, they're only, and you can see here, it's reminding you, hey, all this stuff is only visible by the administrator. And because this page isn't in the navigation, if I logged out now, we wouldn't be able to see this page. So the final thing I'm going to do is go to the page settings, go to permissions, and I'm going to make it visible to all users. And then I'm going to go back and I'll go ahead and say display in menu, click save, close, hit refresh. Here's Ron Sandbox. So let's go ahead and log out. And now here's Ron Sandbox, and this is what it looks like. It's got a nice banner. It's got my FAQ title entry, and it's got all my FAQs. And I've just published a page on our website based on the page hierarchy, which, if you remember, is a page delivers the content. The page template controls the layout of the containers. The containers confine the content to our tetra shapes. And then finally, the modules allow us to control what type of content and styling of content goes into each module. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.